The revolution will now be televised.
Sweet, I gotta eat. With my hustle turbo, never gon' fall. Let it be known. Ain't nothing sweet about the heat. Let it be known when the doors low, then the guns blow. Ain't nothing sweet, I gotta eat. With my hustle turbo, never gon' fall. Let it be known.
I ain't spitting white lies, pumping niggas full of smoke. I'm on that block, I'm getting green, I'm pumping white bars of coke. Making broke niggas rich, teaching novice how to pitch. I made that switch, make yours. Matter of fact, fall back and forth. I grind with a cause, daddy, money's my motivation. I'm a rapper by choice, a hustler by occupation. And my street profession, niggas call me Connect. And hustlers worldwide, show that man respect. Hustlers worldwide, for that reason I collect. See, that feeling's mutual, I never deal with that usual suspect. A snitch nigga's always on deck to put your business on the fence, take cassette. Nevertheless, I put.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Delgados.
We are live on the set of the Delgados podcast. I told you guys 2026 was going to be a big year, and I'm delivering on my promises, man. I am fortunate and blessed to have in my presence in the studio today, Masta Ace. Let's give Masta Ace a warm welcome. What's up, Masta Ace?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good to be here, brother. Good to be here. I was interested in seeing how this was going to go. You said you had some things to ask me, so I can't wait to hear these questions.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm excited, man. And you know what? Let's just get right into it, man. Let's not even play today.
All right.
So I heard you say something recently. You said people from Brooklyn are nonchalant, and you being in Marley's house, even though it was a big deal, you would act like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
So I want to start with this. It's a big deal for me to have you here. And I'm from Brooklyn too, and I'm not going to be nonchalant about it. I'm going to give you your flowers, man. You're a big deal. One of my favorite MCs. But aside from being one of my favorite MCs, just being a true keeper of the craft, the real definition of an MC.
Thank you,
man. A lot of people are rappers. There's a lot of rappers, Ace. Yeah. Rappers all up and through the whole world.
Yeah.
But it's not too many MCs. And I'm really pleased to have you here today, man.
Thank you.
Really pleased to have you here today. Now, when I reached out to you, it was probably about maybe 2 to 3 months ago now, maybe 2.5 months. You were on tour in Europe.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you this. Do you feel like golden era hip hop, real hip hop, gets more love overseas than it does here in the States? And if so, why do you feel that is?
Well, absolutely it does. It's a weird window of time though, because what we grew up on in the early mid 80s, that hip hop missed Europe. They're not aware, in general, they're not aware of that music. It's kind of somewhere around 90 to 98 that like they started to pay attention.
So they're familiar with Sitting on Chrome, Masta Ace. That's the Masta Ace they know.
Correct. They're not as familiar with the Take a Look Around Masta Ace
right.
or even Slaughterhouse.
Okay.
But right from Sitting on Chrome forward is where the awareness is. But to be honest with you, is really when I dropped the Disposable Arts in 2001, that was when it really took off in Europe, where there was a real full-on awareness of me as an artist and people coming out to shows. It was based on that album. And but there's a lot of cats, like my contemporaries, people that are legends over here, that often say like, yo man, hook me up. I see you always over in Europe, like, get me in touch with your people. And I tell them like, yo, I'll put you in touch, but they don't know these classics that you guys have.
They're not familiar with your music the way that I am, right?
Right. They don't know like they should, but for a lot of people in Europe, like hip hop came along a little bit later, and
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They missed that whole early mid 80s, even somewhat late 80s. They missed a lot of that stuff.
79 to 88, they missed.
Pretty much missed it because it wasn't a thing yet. wasn't a thing yet, and a lot of those,
We were still creating it. The culture was still being birthed.
Correct, and a lot of those governments were different types of governments. They weren't even allowing this music to come into their countries. Like some of the places that I've been, they're like, yeah, we didn't start getting hip hop to 93. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, before that, no American music was brought over here. And then the government changed and then they started letting it in. It's crazy.
So they don't even have a recollection. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's no point of reference. Like for some countries, from anything before 93, they're like, not really sure.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. Now, so when I think about MASTA ACE, right, it's like, and just artists from that era, overall, you guys were way more creative and took a lot of artistic risk that rappers or hip hop artists, whatever you want to label them, nowadays don't necessarily take. And what I'm referencing is like, so when you recorded Me in the Biz, why did you go with the puppet in the music video as opposed to really having Biz show up? Because I know you and Biz were tight. So it's like, it was just that level of creativity. Like when I watched that video, it's like, it took me to another place. And it's like, from an artistic perspective, you don't really get that nowadays. You know what I mean? When artists are putting together their visuals, they don't take those kind of risks anymore. Why do you feel you have that level of comfort to experiment like that and be free like that with your art?
To be fair, the puppet wasn't my idea. I didn't come up with that. I didn't even want that to be a single. I was like pushing really hard for that to not be the single. I wanted Music Man to be the single. Benny Medina over at Warner Brothers is the one who kind of forced my hand in making that the single. And the reason I didn't want it to be the single is because, you know, and I hope you are aware of this, but Biz is not on the record.
No, I know that.
Okay. So I still meet people to this day that did not know that's not Biz on the record.
No, I knew it wasn't Biz on the record.
Okay, yeah, good. Because a lot of people to this day still like, what do you mean? I'm like, Biz is not on the record. It's just my voice, me doing my impersonation of Biz.
I feel like your real fans know that was you doing Biz's voice. I feel like maybe someone who's a casual Ace fan may not know, but we knew.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, so the puppet was the idea of the art director who did that video, and he came up with the treatment, and I went with the flow. I was a brand new artist. I didn't want to ruffle no feathers or make no waves. I was kind of just trying to have my record come out because it was, I was being threatened to not even have a second single if I didn't let that be the single. So I was under a lot of pressure as a brand new artist, first time out.
Sure, I understand.
Yeah.
And that's when labels had more creative, what I would say, they had more creative control over artists back then during the inception. It's different now where they give artists a lot more liberty to think about their visuals and what single is coming out first. So I understand that. But shouts out to Benny Medina, because Me in the Biz is one of my favorite records of all times. And you can ask my wife, I watch that video like all the time. I'm always rewatching crazy. That video on YouTube. That's my joint, bro.
Cool. That's cool. There's only a few places that I actually get to perform that song. Like London is one of the places where I can do that record, but generally I only perform that record in the States and certain spots in the States. But I don't really do that record overseas much.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk about Sitting on Chrome, which we spoke about a little bit. Mm-hmm. Born to Roll. Like, bro, like it had this West Coast feel to it, but it was this New York rapper crushing this West Coast vibe. Like, how did you get to the point where you were like, you know what? This is the way that my trajectory is moving. I'm damn near like I'm from the West, but I'm not. It was just the weird, because I was on the West at that time when that record hit out there.
Right.
And I was like, yo, this is crazy. He's not even from the West. And this is fire. He got this whole movement going. Now, was it the car movement? Was it the lowrider movement? Like, what made you think about, okay, this is what my sound is going to be like for this particular project?
So this all came about because of one song, Born to Roll.
Right.
Which was a remix to a song, Jeep Ass Nigga, that I had put out almost a year earlier.
I'm familiar.
And so I was in North Carolina, going through the 99-cent bin at this record store. We had an in-store and there wasn't that many people there. So I'm just looking through records and I saw this Def Jam label and I looked at it and I was like, Original Concept. I remember this record and I remember this beat. And so I bought that record, took it home. I remember how the beat sounded and I remember that they didn't rap over it. And I was like, I bet if I take this same beat and put the lyrics to Jeep Ass Nigga over this beat, I bet it'll work in some other markets. And that's how how
it came about.
That's how this whole thing started, me doing this remix. So then at the time, my Slaughterhouse album, we were on to the next single and I had a meeting with the label, Delicious Vinyl. I said, I got this remix to Jeep Ass Nigga where I flipped this other beat and I want to put it on a single. And they were like, well, fighting me on it. Like, no, absolutely not. We're moving on to the next single. And it took for me to like kind of like damn near put my foot down for them to even throw it on the B-side, last cut of the B-side, they threw it on there. And they serviced the record. The single was Slaughterhouse. They serviced the record. And these DJs over in San Francisco, as soon as they got the vinyl, they turned that joint over. What's this? And they call on the label, what's this on the beast? What's this record? Like, this is the record.
This the heat right here.
And so it turned into this whole thing. And then, now we got to shoot a video for it. Now we got to press it up as its own separate single. Like, but they were like chasing it. Like it was, if they had
already moving.
If they had seen the vision that I saw
early on,
we'd have a gold single. But they were like literally playing catch up.
They were one step behind all the time.
All the time, they were one step behind. Now they gotta reissue it. Now everybody
ship it out again.
They had to send out one sheets to all of the record stores, the mom and pops, because people were coming in the store saying, "I want Born to Roll," and they're like, well, "We don't have a Born to Roll. All we got is this song right here, this single." And the records shop didn't even know that it was on the B-side of...
It's on the same wax.
On the same wax. So they were like turning people away. We missed mad sales.
Damn.
So anyway, once the success of that record took off...
They basically fumbled the rock on that one.
They fumbled
There was a little bit of fumbling.
A lot of fumbling. So once that record took off the way it did, it became this phenomenon. 2 years damn near. It got retired on the box and, it was everywhere. Delicious Vinyl came to me and they said, listen, you're onto something with this car culture thing. Like we think you can you give us some more records like this?
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that's not what I was going to do, or that wasn't my intention for the next record. But you know what? You guys have a track record of platinum artists. They had Young MC platinum, Tone Loc platinum. Farside was selling a lot of records. I'm like, all right, let me give them what they're asking for, and then maybe I can be in the platinum crew. So I went in the studio and I said, I'm going to come up with a record that gives them what they're asking for, but it's still true to me. And that became Sitting on Chrome, which is the Compromise album. That's what I always call it, because
I love Sitting on Chrome. Why was it the Compromise album?
Because it wasn't truly the record I would have made if the label didn't open their mouths and ask for something. It wouldn't have been that record. So I was trying to give them this car culture record, even down to the cover. Like I had my boy Kid Style out in Houston draw this cover up based on this piece of art that my mother had in the house, and he drew it up and made this really elaborate, picture with all of these different things happening, which was like a cruising scene. And so all of that was part of the marketing of this record. But as a creative, I shouldn't be in the studio making records based on marketing, based on trying to
chase a sound. And that wasn't true to who I was. So I gave them what they asked for, and it sold more records than any of my albums prior to that or even after that. But I know that it's a Masta Ace classic. That's like, so if you reference Masta Ace, people are going to go to that particular piece of art because it was extremely successful, and then it does embody a certain time in car culture on the West Coast.
It did, and it also opened me up to an entire new audience of fans who didn't know anything about the first two albums.
A lot of Latinos.
A lot of them, they didn't even know about Symphony. Like they knew nothing about me before Born to Roll came out. Like from their knowledge of me started when Born to Roll dropped. And went forward into Sitting on Chrome. So it definitely served the purpose, and it's a part of my career that I'm happy that I did it. Cause I don't, if
I'm happy you did it too.
If I hadn't done that record, I would have never gotten a chance to realize what it felt like to have a record in heavy rotation. Cause I didn't have any records after that or before that were in heavy rotation. So I got to see what that was, you know. Before that, everything was just mixed show. But like at a certain point in LA, like my record was on both stations. You change the station, it's on another station. It was like on constantly throughout the day. And that was Born to Roll and ICONCiC Ride. Both of those records were like crazy heavy rotation.
Yeah. I was on the West at the time, and I was able to experience what was taking place in car culture, and then also how those records played a huge part. Where I was living in LA, I was living in Culver City, and every time somebody drive by, they banging that, they banging that. Yeah. Every time somebody rolling through, and huge impact, man, that you had with that album. Now, you mentioned the Symphony, and I heard you speak about how you were able to even get on that record. I had saw a reel, and you spoke about how you weren't even supposed to be on that record. You were a ride. You were somebody's ride.
Craig G's ride.
Right.
Yeah.
And to me, you got the second hottest verse on that song.
It's up. I'm
gonna go with Big Daddy Kane first, but right after Kane.
What about G-Rap though?
G-Rap's verse was dope, but Kane took that record.
No, I'm saying if you're saying Kane is first and you putting me second, you gotta put G-Rap. Where's G-Rap falling at?
G-Rap is third.
Wow.
G-Rap is third. Well, and I love G-Rap. G-Rap, you know I love you, bro. But Kane took that, and after Kane, it was Ace, and after Ace was G-Rap.
If I'm being honest, when that song got recorded, I went in the booth first and recorded my verse. Then Craig went in, he did his thing. I'm like, okay, Craig joint was fire. That's cool. I felt like we was on par. And then G-Rap came with his verse. I immediately was second guessing the verse that I chose to spit. I'm thinking about all these other verses. I said, I should have said this one or this one or this one. So
Marley
that was
gives
my
a slice. I get nice and my voice is twice as horrifying as Vincent Price. That nigga came hard. He came hard, but for some reason, nigga, I don't know. It's something about Kane's cadence and voice on that shit. Like, I got all y'all niggas' verses memorized on that record. It's like,
yeah, me too.
Like when I go back in my mind, for me, it's Kane first, then it's you, then it's G-Rap. Me and my brothers argue about this shit all the time, but
it's a good argument.
To me, best posse record that's ever come out is the Symphony, hands down.
I think it's the first of its kind. There's been other records where there were, collaborations of MCs,
hot records that were collaborations, but like when you think about the posse cut, like those type of collab cuts, I don't know, Symphony, and it's also Marley Marl's intro to the record.
Yeah,
like it's just everything about that record. The production, the music video, the whole cowboy shit. Like it's just something about everything that you guys put together. That whole shit was magic, man. That was magic.
I think Juice Crew All Stars predated Symphony. Like that came out first.
That came out first, but I didn't love that record the way I love the Symphony.
And Uptown's Kicking It. That's another one that was.
I like Uptown's Kicking It. I like Juice Crew All Stars. Those were posse cuts, but the Symphony is like the quintessential posse cut. When that shit come on till this day, still that shit rock hard.
Yeah.
On all levels, instrumental, verses, music video, wardrobe, the shit y'all was wearing, like it was just perfect. It's like sometimes when you put these hip hop things together, sometimes perfection is just that magic was captured.
Yeah,
that shit was magical, bro. Now, I want to ask you something because Marley to me is one of the most significant hip hop producers, if not the most significant, right? To come out of this culture. And people from the West always say Dr. Dre, and there's some great producers that come out of the West Coast. And here in New York, you got Primo, and you got a lot of classic producers. But because of Marley's chronological time where he started producing, and then the amount of hits that Marley had, do you feel that Marley is that nigga? Is he that nigga for you in terms of music production? He is for me.
He is an extremely important cog in the machinery that is hip hop production, because he was one of the first to use sampling and chop up James Brown. Like when I heard It's a Demo, because I was actually, and G-Rap won't remember this, but the day that DJ Polo, rest in peace, the day Polo bought G-Rap to Marley, I was there. I was in the living room, and he's like, yo, this is my new rapper. His name is Cool G. And that day they recorded
It's a Demo.
It's a Demo, and I'm listening to the beat, and I didn't get it. I was like, how do you rhyme to this? Like, I didn't get it because there was nothing like it. Everybody was drum programming, boom, boom, ba, boom, 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 ba. That's what everybody was doing. And he comes with this James Brown.
That shit was people in the audience. Cool G Rap is my name. I write rhymes and assert them inside. Yeah. Nigga, I won't fucking. Let me tell you something. It's a demo, right? I tell you, I broke my tape that I recorded it on because I would sit when Mr. Magic was on. I would sit by the radio and try to cut out the commercials because I didn't want to hear Marley talking and I didn't want to hear Magic talking. Rest in peace, Mr. Magic. He talked a lot over the records. He'd let the record start, then he'll start talking, and I'll be like, Magic, be quiet, my nigga. Like I'm trying to get this joint. Bro, when I tell you I played that song so much the first time I recorded it. Now let me ask you this. You may have an answer for this, maybe you don't. His name is Polo. Was that on the B side of Demo?
No. The song you're talking about, Polo, that was his first record.
His name is Polo was a different record.
Different MC. That was a kid named Frost.
That wasn't Cool G?
That wasn't G-Rap on Polo.
Polo.
So the dude that rapped on that is called Frost. And that record was like popping in the New York streets. Like that was
shit
like
was hot.
Yeah, on the radio and all that. So what happened was, and the reason why he hooked up with G-Rap is because Frost got locked up.
Okay.
He was ready to do his next record and Frost was in jail.
Oh.
So
I swear to God, I didn't notice. I thought that was a G-Rap record.
No.
Even the cadence in their voice, didn't they sound similar?
Nah, go listen to it. Nah.
Yeah?
Frost didn't rhyme like G-Rap at all, but we still love that record. But
I love that record.
So
I thought that was G-Rap's first record.
Nah. So like I said, when he came to Marley's crib and was like, this is my new MC, his name is Cool G, he said Frost got locked up. So this is my new MC, Cool G. And they did It's a Demo, and Cool G Rap and Polo became the thing.
Now, you being from Brooklyn, how did the Brooklyn dude link up with all these Queens dude? Like, where's the connection between Brooklyn and Queens? Because you from Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn. The connection comes from a skating rink in Queens called USA, United States of America.
Okay.
They had a rap contest back in '85, and my boy Scooter Rockwell, who's from Brownsville like me, reached out to me and told me that there was a contest. Did I want to, roll with him to the contest? We both rhymed. We both was nice with it. So I was like, yeah, I'll roll with you. So jumped on the train, and I'm on the F train. He got a little drum machine called a Dr. Rhythm. I'm on the F train programming my beat from my rhyme so that the beat would drop out in the right lines and all of that. Like I'm literally programming it on the train. Entered the contest. Ended up winning the contest. First prize was 6 hours of studio time with Marley Marl.
That was first prize for the contest?
That was the first prize.
Damn, that's a great prize.
And so it took me probably 6 months to actually get in touch with Marley after I won the contest.
You serious?
Yeah. Because they gave me a phone number, which I would call religiously. I was in college at the time. So
what college?
I was at University of Rhode Island.
Okay.
In Kingston, Rhode Island. And so I would call every time it was a break. I would be home. I'm on that number. And his sister would always answer and just, he's not here. After about 4 or 5 months of that, it was almost like she knew my voice. Hi, Ace, he's not here. And that was the routine. But I was just consistently calling. And one day, I don't know if he pissed her off or something. She was like, you know what? This ain't his real number. Let me get his real number. And she gave me a different number. And that was his actual, I was calling his mom's crib in Queensbridge Projects, but he didn't live there no more. And the sister finally broke down and gave me the real number. And when I called, I'm like, yo, yeah, I won the contest.
I won this contest.
You owe me 6 hours of studio time. What's good? And he told me to meet him in Queensbridge Projects some evening, some afternoon. And me and my DJ Steady Pace went out there and sat on the bench waiting for him like 4 or 5 hours before he came home.
And he pulled up.
Pulled up late. Like he told me, if he told me to meet him there at 1, he pulled up like 5, 6. But we didn't leave, man. We didn't leave. I met Craig G that same day waiting on the bench.
That's how you met Craig G?
That's how I met Craig G. Just walked up, saw us. Y'all rappers, right? Yeah, Marley always got dudes waiting for him. He sat and talked for us by an hour before he went on his way, but that's how I got to know him. I was aware of him already because he had Shout Rap out. I knew who he was.
That's a crazy, crazy story.
Yeah, yeah.
That you won a contest, got a phone number, called it for 6 months, and then finally his sister gave you a different number. You reached him there, pulled up in Queensbridge, sat on a bench for 5 or 6 hours.
Yes.
And finally this dude pulls up.
Finally pulls up, and we recorded my first demo that day. And I remember I met MC Shan that day too. Shan was
That same day.
That same day. And he said, "Yo, Shan, go work on some drums with this guy." And Shan told me years later, like he's like, "Oh, if Marley sent you with me, he was just trying to get rid of you and just burn your hours up because I didn't know nothing." He's like, "I didn't know what I was doing." So Shan was just like trying to kill time,
going through the motions,
just trying to kill time. And so ultimately, I eventually got to record something, and I think whatever that first demo was, I think maybe Marley was like, "Oh, this kid actually kind of alright," and so I kept coming after the 6 hours. He
kept pulling up.
He had me keep coming back, and so it turned into a thing. And then by the year I graduated was the same year that his album In Control was being finished up, and he said, "I'm going to use 2 of your songs for my album," and the rest is history, brother.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
History was definitely made. Now, I want to ask you this. Mr. Magic, how well did you know Mr. Magic?
I didn't know Mr. Magic that well. I was only around him a few times. My interaction with him was very limited. I remember being invited up to BLS. Marley would invite us up. One time he invited me and Craig up just to come freestyle on the radio, whatever, typical. And my first time meeting him, we were in the reception area at BLS. So that you get off the elevator, there's like a reception area, and then there's some couches or chairs or whatever. And Craig wasn't even there yet. It was just me. I was there with my DJ. And Magic came out of the back to go use the bathroom and saw us and kicked us out. Told us we had to go downstairs and wait for Marley.
Magic?
Yeah. He didn't know us though.
Okay.
We were just like some
dudes
kids
popping up.
Yeah. Y'all can't be up here. Y'all gotta go downstairs. Y'all waiting for Marley. Y'all go downstairs and wait for Marley. So that was my first introduction to him. So needless to say, like that never really
turned into a relationship.
No. Cause I'm from Brooklyn and I held a grudge.
Yeah, of course. But I would too. That's a very strange introduction for you to be like, yo, you got to go wait for your man downstairs. Basically, you got to go wait for your man downstairs.
And it's his man. It's not like it's Marley.
It's all our mans.
It's your DJ.
Right.
So it was what it was. So we never got warm and fuzzy and we never got cool like that. And it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. I want to ask you this, right? We spoke about your age, and I'm not going to say it here on air.
I don't care if you say it. I don't run from my age.
We grown folks, let's just say that, we from a certain era, time, and place. I feel like in Black culture, not just hip hop, amongst Black people, amongst us, I feel like for some reason we frown upon our elders, we frown upon our leaders. And if you look at Asian culture, if you look at European culture, they look to their elders with respect and dignity.
They uplift them.
Yes, they uplift their elders. They look to their elders with respect and dignity. Mm-hmm. And then in Black popular culture, we frown upon our elders with like labels like old heads and unk and all this type of thing. And I feel like it's doing our culture in particular a huge disservice because we miss out on conversations like this. Yeah. And we miss out on foundational artists that are basically the blueprint of this business. How do you feel about that, Ace?
I mean, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It's unfortunate because somewhere along the way, you know, we know hip hop has always been a competitive field. It's always been about competition, whether it was dancing, DJing, whatever it was, graffiti. It was always
It's a competitive sport,
you against the next man, right? I'm better than you. I'm hotter than you. I'm this.
which has also hurt us, though.
Yeah, it does. It has hurt us. And so there's never really been that collaborative spirit of uplifting the next man. You hot. Like that just wasn't part of it. It was, I'm better than you. He I, you know, it was always that. And so when younger artists are coming up and they're feeling like it's it's our time now. Y'all old dudes need to go somewhere. Like it's our time now. That's where the disconnect is. And I don't have a real answer for why that is the dynamic.
I mean, you've been in entertainment a long time.
Yeah.
You've been an entertainer basically your entire adult life, since you're an adolescent, since you're a teenager. So it's very important that I get your perspective on it, because I feel like, so when I listen to a Masta Ace, I feel like an artist like A Boogie with the Hoodie could benefit from doing a record with you. I feel like you guys have something in common in terms of creativity. Even though he's from this era and you're from that era, I see similarities between Masta Ace and A Boogie. And it's like, I'm like, why wouldn't A Boogie reach out to Masta Ace and be like, you know what, Ace, I want to get with you on this record. Let's do this joint together. I feel like those type of collaborations would be so productive for this culture. And it just takes one. It just takes one to set it off.
He would have to be aware of me though. And if his elders, and he was coming up, if his elders didn't expose him to my music,
introduce him to the music,
how would he know to even collaborate with me?
Right.
So that's where we don't pass it backwards to our youth and share our music with them, so that they come up liking some of it or understanding it, or at least being familiar with the sound of it. And so that's where the disconnect is. It's the parenting of those younger artists coming up.
So my two sons know all your music because I'm weird like that. Like when they in the
that's nothing weird about that.
When they with me, and this is from the time that they was little boys, when they're in the whip with me, I'm only playing golden era shit. Okay. Because they're gonna hear the new stuff on their own.
Sure.
I don't need to help them hear some new stuff.
Right.
They're gonna get that stuff on their own.
Right.
So my kids are familiar with your music, with, you know, a lot of the Juice Crew's music, you know, all the way going up into Nas and the early Biggie and all that stuff. My kids are familiar because, like you said, I introduced them to it, and I'm constantly playing it even now to this day. But I feel like as a result of this disconnect between the originators and the people that are still making music now, not connecting and not working together, it's hurting our culture, man.
Yeah, you know, interesting phenomenon over in Europe, because I've been the last 3 to 4 tours that I've done overseas, I've been noticing that more and more fathers and mothers are bringing their
kids to the show,
preteens and teens. Like, they got different rules out there. Like, you can be like 16 and get in the club.
You can make it happen.
Yeah, and so even younger than 16, a couple of that. So the last 3 or 4 tours, it's been dad and son, or dad and son and daughter. Like, and the kids, like, they're buying merch and they're familiar with the music because he done showed it to them, and
it's dope.
And I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool.
No,
like,
it's dope. I love it.
These young kids, they weren't even born when my first couple records came out.
And that's the type of thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because not only you, but a lot of artists from your era, the music is timeless.
Absolutely.
If you just introduce it, people would continue listening to it.
Absolutely.
The problem is, you know, the youth doesn't have a place to get connected to that era of hip hop. So it's like it almost doesn't even exist for them. And what you just said is taking place in Europe. Man, we need that here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, if I ever been to a show here and a dad or mom brought their kid, off the top of my head, I can't think of a situation where that happened here. I mean, may have. I don't remember it though. It would have stood out to me, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it happens over there a lot though.
I don't see it, but you know, thanks for answering that for me. And then I have another question for you. Now, you being able to experience, you know, being in the studio early on, and then where technology and AI is now, because for me to do a collab with Masta Ace, I don't even need Masta Ace. I can just go in my AI. I can put a Masta Ace record and I can steal your voice. I can type in the lyrics and it'll put your flow on the beat that I produced.
But that's not technically a collaboration with me though. It's a collaboration with AI.
But you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you.
But what I'm saying is I'm basically stealing a Masta Ace verse.
Yeah.
Right. Technology has created this space where artists can do that now.
Yeah.
And do you feel it's a two-part question and it's a loaded question. Do you feel that technology has helped or hurt the genre?
Both. It's helped it in several ways, and it's going to hurt it in several ways as well. Technology has made it possible for me to do collaborations with people that live on the other side of the world. And that didn't exist before. Like when I came up, you had to be in the studio with the person.
You guys had to be working together.
Yeah,
to make
you had to be in the studio. We had to book time and schedule it and make sure we both could be there at the same time. And those were the steps. Now I don't know how many collaborations I've done in my career now, but it's a lot. It's a lot, more than I even remember. But a majority of those were done via email, via Pro Tools. I can record in my basement on my laptop, lay my vocals down,
send them to somebody,
mail them. They take the session, drop the vocals in, collaboration done. And that's a bonus. That's where,
a plus.
That's where technology has helped. You know, this stuff with AI is problematic because it is going to dumb down people's creativity. Now people don't have to think. They don't have to come up with stuff. They can just type some suggestions into and see what it comes up with, and then go, oh, okay, well, let me tell it to do this. And so literally they are just doing prompts to create music. I don't dig that.
There are AI artists that are charting right now on the R&B charts, on the pop charts, on the country charts.
From what I hear, they've been charting in China for a few years now. Like,
yeah, they have.
And so like, what does that mean though? Like, I don't know what that means.
So what that means is this, right? These DSPs figured out a way to cut artists out of the financial equation completely. Because if I produce, write the record, record the record, mix, master it all on AI, in terms of the intellectual property, I own the IP as the label, right? A lot of these DSPs are producing these AI artists. So now me as a DSP, I control everything about this artist. I can make the music videos. These images are artificial intelligence generated. I can make this artist look a certain way. Everything about this artist, I can take, I can create it, I can manipulate it, and I can keep all the royalties. I control all the publishing. I control every component of this fake artist, this fake musician, this fake singer, this fake pop star that I created. So the angle, Ace, is basically to remove the artist from any kind of royalty, which record labels have been trying to figure out a way to do that from the very beginning. They've been unfair to artists. But now I don't even have to discuss this with an artist because I'm just going to create the same sound that you have. I'm going to do it in this program, and I'm going to own every component of this intellectual property. So that's why for DSPs, the AI artists are a win-win. They don't want to pay out anyway. Because if you look at streaming was never created to help the artist.
Right.
Physical sales are always best for Masta Ace. When you could sell wax, when you could sell CDs, when you could sell cassette tapes, why? Because your intellectual property is being controlled by you. It's a hard copy. You can take 5,000 copies when you travel to Europe and sell all 5,000 copies at $7 a piece. So now 7 times 5,000, that all goes in Masta Ace's pocket. Digital streaming was never meant to be advantageous for the artist.
Yeah, well, it is a runaway train now, so we don't know where it's going to go. All we can do as creatives is continue to create and hope that the music that we're making cuts through the BS and that fans will see value in what we're doing and don't start to lean or expect this AI music to be the standard. But we just gotta be vigilant and continue to be creative, brother. I don't know what else to say. It's a runaway train.
So it is a runaway train, but I feel like as artists, I feel like one artist or a collective of you guys has to get together and take control of the intellectual property. And what I mean by that is Masta Ace has to own the streaming platform. You have to own the platform where I subscribe for $1.99 a month and I could hear all this great music. You know, maybe it's called Golden Era Streaming, and maybe you and Marley collaborate, or maybe me, you and Marley collaborate, and we get with Apple and we say, look, we're only gonna let artists that stream on this platform make this amount of money, and everyone has to pay this price. And this is where these particular artists only agree to stream. Right. You got to pull it off of Spotify. You got to pull it off of iTunes, right? If you want to control the money. Right. Right. We as artists, we have to pull, we as creatives, we have to pull our intellectual property off of these platforms that are benefiting from it and not letting us profit from it. Yeah. And we have to control it, because now with technology, it's so easy to put up a platform and have a server with billions of songs, as to where 10 years ago, that was difficult for guys like us to think about doing. Yeah. But now the technology has progressed so much, it's so easy to put that together. It's just a matter of organizing artists, getting black people to stay on the same page without competing against each other, and getting the egos out the way, because everybody want to be in charge. Yeah. If Ace come up with the idea, niggas want to compete with you. Yeah. I'm gonna do my own shit because the nigga Ace said this and that and blah. No, bro, we all got to go on Ace's platform and we got to agree to stay there. And this is the only place where we gonna put our music. That's how it has to happen, Ace.
I agree with you in theory.
In theory, yeah.
Getting us
to work together collectively, forget about it. It's easier said than done.
It's a hard sell, bro.
No, listen, I know, man.
It's a hard sell.
Too many chiefs. Nobody wants to be Indian, bro.
Facts.
And that's why, you know, a lot of artists are not able to profit from art that they created years ago, and then art that they're still creating to this day, man. I love the fact that you're in control of what you're doing, and you getting all this money traveling and doing shows.
And I sell my merch and my vinyl and my CDs.
That's what I'm saying.
My T-shirts.
I know. Yeah. I know. I've been tapping in with you. So you in charge and you in control of your intellectual property and your art. And it's like, that's how it has to be. Yeah. It has to be that way. You know what I'm saying? It has to be that way. And I love physical copies. I want the CD to be popular again.
I do too.
I love CDs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't mind carrying a bunch of CDs around. You know what I mean? I still like physical copies, or at least a hard drive. You know what I mean? A gig stick, where it's like I can go to, a store. I can go to Target and buy a Masta Ace gig stick, and it got all your hits on it. And I can take that gig stick and plug it into my computer. And because you have such a long discography of music, maybe your gig stick is worth $50. Yeah. I'm paying $50 for it with no problem. Right. I believe you can sell 100,000 to 200,000 gig sticks easy, Ace.
I believe so too.
I believe you can. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then there's this cool website that I saw where you can make the gig stick into any shape or anything you want.
Yeah, I've seen them in the shape of MPCs, into the shape of sneakers,
cars. Yeah, it's a bunch chains, gold chains.
Sky's the limit. Yeah.
You could make it cool, and you could like every couple of years come out with a great, because you got so much music, you don't got to put them all on one gig stick. You could break it up into a series of 5 or 6, man. But these are just ideas I'm kicking around.
Of course. I saw De La had one with their different heads, like they're like caricature heads or something like that. It was pretty cool.
Now I'm glad you brought up De La, because I was watching an interview with them when they were just dropping this most recent project. Yep. And they were asked, what artist do you feel? And this is very significant, because De La's a big deal. De La's a big deal.
Of course.
This is extremely significant. And it's like, they were asked, so, who do you guys think has been flying under the radar as an artist and is overlooked sometimes? And first words out of his mouth was, Masta Ace got a crazy discography of music. Did you see that?
Shout to Maceo, yeah, man. That's my brother,
that
was cool to hear from somebody who I respect. Those guys, I respect those guys.
From another icon, you feel me?
Man, listen, that was a very cool moment, and it's definitely appreciated. And he actually did a feature. He did a hook for us on a new upcoming album, which maybe that's why I was just on his radar, because I had reached out to him and asked him to do this hook for me, and he got to hear one of the songs, and he probably, it probably had an impact on him. Like, man, why this guy don't get, this is another good record. So maybe I was fresh on his mind, and that's why he popped up with it. But it's definitely appreciated.
No, it was extremely significant, and it was huge. That's heavy. That's a big deal. You are very nonchalant. I'll let your wife know. He is very laid back and nonchalant, because Ace is just cool as shit. Because Ace, that's a big ass deal. Ace like, yeah, so what? De La Soul.
I mean, it's
bro, let me tell you something. It's a big deal. This is why when we first started this, I told you I'm not one of these dudes that's gonna sit here and try to be cool. Like, oh, yeah, I'm here on the Delgado's podcast with Master. No, nigga, I'm here with Masta Ace. This shit is a big deal. You a big deal, bro.
Man, I appreciate it.
No, you mean everything. You mean everything to the culture. And if you see young artists, tap in, Reed. Me, I'm a hip hop historian. So different from me, because I really listen to everybody, past, present, and future. I'm always looking for new artists. Like, I can put you on to maybe 12 new artists that you haven't listened to, that if you do listen to, you'd be like, oh, Castro, these dudes are dope.
Yeah.
And they little kids, and they just kind of like getting their feet wet now. Yeah. And then I can also name all the artists from our era and everybody that's in between as well. And that's extremely unique. A lot of people don't mess with the entire genre, with the whole culture like that. But listening to the whole culture and being able to go to every time period of it and think about what artist is consistently dope. And dope is a big definition, right? It's an old school word. Dope means this dude's creativity, his production, his flow, his lyrical content. There's so many components when you be like, yo, this is a dope MC, right? We don't just say that. You don't just throw that around.
Right.
You might be like, oh, this dude's all right. He's cool. I like his music. And when you be like, yo, this nigga's dope, that's different.
If it's dope, that means you get hooked to it. You get addicted to it.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. You one of those dudes who fall in that category of, this man is dope. Now, me saying that, what do you feel is the secret sauce that has kept Masta Ace so relevant in terms of his ability to still do this on an extremely high level? Because it's a lot of dudes your age who try to make music. No disrespect, I'm not gonna name them either.
Right.
They sound like trash. They sound like old men.
Yeah. You
still sound like a young nigga. Like, what's the secret to that?
Well, two things. I'm still a fan of the music and the culture, and I listen to as much of it as I can. If it's something that I hear about, everybody's talking about it, I want to take a peek. I want to see let me see what everybody's talking about. If I like it, cool. If I don't, I feel like I learned something. Whether I like it or I don't like it, I still learn something. I either learn what not to do, or how I can incorporate some of what I'm hearing on this thing that I do like. How do I incorporate that into what I'm doing? But the big thing for me, and people always look at me funny when I say this, is that I'm still trying to prove myself. I still got something to prove. I feel like the comment that Maceo said, where overlooked, underrated, whatever the term was, that's something that I'm aware of, that I feel, but I don't really.
You carry that a little bit.
I carry it as a little chip on my shoulder, and so when I'm writing something or when we're in that booth, I'm trying to show y'all. Watch.
You let niggas know still.
Watch.
Even today in 2026, you letting them know.
It's like the first album, but I'm just trying to go in and get busy and make music that feels good and surprise people. Because people, if you're not on the radio in the United States, if you're not on the radio, people literally think that you don't exist. They think that
a lot of people that I tell, like, when I send them one of your records and I be like, listen to this, they're like, oh, when did Ace come out with this? I'm like, bro, that was 2019. Nigga, that's recent.
Yes.
That's new music. This nigga just came out with this in 2019.
You don't know how many people I've run into that have said, you still doing music?
It's crazy.
Man, I remember that Me and the Biz joint, but you still doing it? I'm like,
and you're not a real fan if you just depending on, to me, you're not a real keeper of the culture if you're just depending on mainstream radio to feed you music.
That is the overwhelming majority of
I don't even
people.
Listen to the radio, Ace.
It's the overwhelming majority of our people, though. They are programmed. Like the radio's programmed, the listeners are
They're
programmed.
brainwashed.
Yeah, and so
And if it's not on the radio, it's not popping.
yeah,
Even if they do hear it, oh, this is cool, but why it's not on the radio?
Yeah.
Because the radio doesn't play real music. It doesn't benefit them.
so
These program directors have an agenda.
Yeah.
They want to keep the youth focused on things that are completely negative. We're not in control of the radio stations.
Correct.
And as a result, what we feed the youth is poison. Because let's keep it real. And I'm not a hater, and I don't want the young dudes to be like, oh, this old head, like Uncle's a hater. Bro, drill music is negative music. You're talking about me drilling some bullets into another man, into another black man that looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
The entire premise of the music is beefing back and forth between different gang members. Bro, this has nothing to do with hip hop. It's a subgenre that may have come from street culture, but it's not necessarily hip hop.
Correct.
Because hip hop is about unity. Hip hop is about artistic expression. Hip hop is about social issues, right? Hip hop is about all these different things that are important to us as a culture. So if you put on 12 different artists all talking about shooting and killing each other, when I see you, I'm gonna shoot you in the face. Nigga, we beefing, don't come out to that. Like, what are you talking about? You're not even rapping. You just talking aggressively over a beat. Talking about when you see me, you're gonna kill me. Bro, that's not hip hop.
no argument here, brother. You're preaching to the choir over here.
That's not even hip hop. And it's dangerous because we keep letting the media control what is important to the culture.
It goes right back to our adulting of the younger people and us not bringing them along and showing them what it is. So all of those young drill artists, like who were their mentors as they were coming up in music? Who were the people that showed them what the true culture is supposed to sound like? There was probably nobody.
So I feel like, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. There's some validity to what you're saying, but I also feel like this. Hip hop has always taken dark turns because there have been dark periods in the culture before, and it's come back. It always comes full circle. But hip hop has taken dark turns where whack ass music has come out of hip hop. It's happened, not just now.
Right.
It's happened at a couple of different time periods.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to shout nobody out and put nobody on blast.
Right.
But hip hop has survived a lot of whack time periods.
Definitely,
Right? Not
definitely.
just this one. We're in a whack one now, but this is not the only one that's been whack. But the difference about what's taking place now is artists that had made whack music in the past had reference points to go back to listen to some dope shit.
Right.
These young artists, they don't have that reference point. They don't even know what to go listen to, which is kind of also saying what you're saying. It's like, I don't even know what it sounded like before I was making this drill music.
Right.
They don't even know. They're not paying attention. It's not on the radar. They can't hear it on the radio. They're not looking for it on their own. I don't know what the solution is. Is it like, Clear Channel and the other owners of these stations, Hot 97 and 105 and these stations, like, do you guys go to the program director, Flex? You love the culture. You've been DJing for a long time. Do you go to the higher ups and be like, yo, we need 4 hours a day, maybe it's after midnight, where we only playing golden era shit? So these young niggas, if they wanted to tap in, could lean into a real radio station.
Or maybe it doesn't even have to necessarily be golden era, but it could be other messaged music other than what is on the typical everyday radio.
To me, it has to be other time periods.
Mixed in. I can think you can mix it in, but there's a lot of young talented artists that are making good,
they are
positive feeling music and good.
There is.
And they need to get a spin as well.
They need to be showcased as well. That's a very valid point. So, like you said, it's a mix, but there has to be a time period on these major radio stations where it's like, okay, between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., we playing this kind of music. We're not going to play this. We're not going to play this. We're not promoting this. We're going to play this. And it has nothing to do with us trying to bring in marketing dollars. We're not trying to make a bunch of money during this time. We're really trying to uplift the culture because you got to give back. We create the culture. The problem with us is like you said, there's no unity amongst us, and we're not strategizing and planning to also control the marketing dollars that come in as a creation of the culture. It's really us, to be honest.
It's us.
We're our own worst enemy.
100%.
I'm not blaming it on any one of these, huge companies, these Fortune 500 companies. It was never created for them to control.
Right.
And now with all the technology and everything back in our hands, we can control it. It's just a matter who's going to step up and organize it. Is it a Russell Simmons? Is it a Jay-Z? Is it one of these people that are popular and have notoriety and have money and fame and power and have connections? Does it take one of them, Ace, to come back and say, look, this is how we moving now?
The problem with asking one of them or expecting one of them to do it is because they've already gotten to the pinnacle.
They've eaten so big already.
Yes, and they don't want to risk their position by rocking the boat. And so it's easier to just remain quiet and stay in the cut and let somebody else do it. That's not my job. Let somebody else do it. There's gonna be some moment in time that shifts this thing. I don't know when that's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, and it's gonna make it shift, and we'll see when that is. I remember when Jay Electronica was coming out. He was dropping a bunch of stuff, and I thought he was gonna be the shift because it felt different. It felt like because he was like saying some stuff.
It felt powerful.
Felt powerful.
What Jay Electronica was saying felt powerful.
He was saying some things. He was bringing in. He was talking about the Quran and Nation of Islam, and the beats were still fire, and the flow was crazy.
And Jigga Man and him did joints together. And
yeah, everything was.
It felt like a movement.
It really did. And then he like disappeared for like a bunch of years.
Yeah, it was a good 4 years.
It was like, yo, what just happened? Like this guy was about to be the next guy, and then something happened. And then they said, oh, well, he's dating this billionaire's daughter or something in England, Rothschild. I don't know. It was something crazy that was just like. Now, did they see what he was about to become?
Did they see the power in what he was doing?
And like, let's
distract him.
I never got the answer.
Let's pull him away from his purpose.
Yeah.
Like he was beginning to walk in that purpose.
Yes,
and then the minute the purpose was about to become a movement,
something
they were
happened.
like, well, let's derail this. Put a bunch of money in his pocket and remove him from his purpose type of shit.
It felt like that. I don't know if that's really what happened.
I know what you mean by that.
That's how it felt. I was always curious about what happened with that.
I feel the same way about Nipsey.
Yeah.
I feel like Nipsey Hussle was gonna shift the culture in a positive direction, and as soon as Nipsey's movement started to take place, Nipsey was assassinated. And I don't believe all that shit that it was some random gang member that was just plotted outside in front of his store waiting on him. I believe it was calculated. I believe it was LAPD that wanted to get rid of Nipsey. Nipsey was creating a movement on the West Coast that was gonna change dramatically that landscape. He was that voice for that part of the world. Mm-hmm. And by taking Nipsey out of the equation, you set the movement back 10, 15 years. You got to be aware enough, right? And you got to have that military mindset where it's like this level of talent, this level of creativity, this type of godlike being doesn't come around often. Nigga, I am not letting you go to open a shop by yourself. Call me on your way. I'm coming through. I'm going to get these niggas. We standing outside while you do what you got to do. Go do what you got to do, but we coming with you. You don't get to be alone at that point. It's like letting Malcolm X give a speech at the Audubon and you his security. It's the same shit. Nigga, this Malcolm X, you already know how niggas feel about this nigga. This nigga's a threat. That's just something that we have to think about moving forward collectively as a culture, because it happens in hip hop so much. So many of us get killed off. That's the type of shit that at this point, nigga, it's been happening since Scott LaRock. We still letting it happen?
Yeah, you're correct. I just don't know that people have that type of foresight, even street dudes. I think that they don't believe that these things, unless there's like a known threat. Somebody said when they see them, it's on site, something's going down. That's different. But when there's no negative sentiments out there and all you feel is love, you're gonna feel comfortable to just be in that love. And then randomly
You see, based
something
on
happens.
Based on my background, Ace, and you can watch a couple of episodes prior where me and my brothers share a couple of personal things about ourselves. I don't feel that way. I've never felt that way.
Okay.
I always felt like even amongst love, there's a threat. And depending on the level of nigga that you are, there's always animosity and hate for you. It doesn't matter how cool you are, how much you think people love you, and how you feel the room is filled with people that are there to, kind of be a fan of you. I feel like those are some of the most dangerous situations when you feel it's all love. Because when I know there's a threat, that's easy for me. Because now I'm on guard.
On guard.
My level of sensitivity is heightened. But it's when there's the calm that your niggas need to be most on point. That's just, the way that
you think.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Nonetheless, man, this was an amazing interview for me, brother. And, we've come to the part of the show where we would like to recognize our sponsor. I'm wearing a Jack Turner Mahiko watch. And on behalf of our sponsor, I would like to present my good guy. I would like to present my good guy.
Gifts?
Yes, we have gifts. We come bearing gifts.
Oh, man.
With a Jack Turner watch. This is a Jack Turner military piece. I want you to wear this in good health, Ace.
Thank you.
Yes, brother.
Should I open it on
Yeah, go ahead,
camera?
man. Open that up on camera. And we have a special offer for all of our viewers. You can go to www.jackturnerwatches.com and use code JACK20 and receive 20% off on any timepiece, on the timepiece of your liking. This has been another episode of the Delgados podcast. Like I told you, 2026, we doing it big. MASTA ACE did not disappoint. Before we leave, Ace, when is the new album dropping, and what's the name of the new album if you know already?
So we're mixing it right now.
Okay.
So we don't have a release date until we hand it in, but it'll be out probably second quarter of this year.
Okay.
Second quarter, and I'm not ready to give away the title yet. I know the title, but sometimes at the bottom of the ninth, I switch it up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do. I got a better one. So I don't want to give it away until we literally commit to it with artwork, and it's like definitely that's the title.
Okay, say less, but you already know.
Yeah.
Second quarter 2026.
MASTA ACE Marco Polo.
MASTA ACE Marco Polo, new heat. Thanks for tapping in.
Appreciate y'all.
The Delgados.